Okay, welcome to the special meeting of the council. It's June 4th. The time is 8:09 and we'll call the meeting to order. Item number 2 on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. And does anyone have any amendments or changes they'd like to make?
Move adoption of the agenda.
All right, call the question. All in favor?
Oh, sorry, I was just trying to pull up.
Michael before I'll second it.
Okay.
Seconding the adoption.
Adoption of the agenda, yeah.
Okay,
James goes in.
any amendments?
Yes, I would like to take, sorry, I'm just trying to pull it up in front of me here. Do you have it? Can I look at it? Thank you. The under new business, I would like to take this topic into closed under section 90, under legal and personnel. So that would be section 90. I got that here.
91
and 90.
91-1.
91 nor 91. C and G.
So for clarification, which items? All of them?
No, the mayor's report.
So I'll read them out
Part
here.
A.
So you're suggesting to go into closed under new business 4A, the LGMA responsible conduct recommendation program, the recommendation that council instructs CAO to implement the 3-pronged approach to governance and best practices as recommended by our CAO and LGMA, and that the 3-pronged approach utilizes the provincial advisors and the inspector of municipalities recommendations, and that the council will accept the LGMA experts' recommendations as binding and instructs the CAO to implement.
Can I just chime in here? Can I chime in? Am I on unmuted or muted? Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, can I just respond to, so I would like
So
to
you're
take
recommending these
it
go
into close for discussion, and then we can bring them back into open, but there's further information that we can't discuss in open that I need to share.
Okay.
I'll second that if it hasn't been seconded yet.
Okay. Mr. Blackwell, you've talked before about discussions that we can go into a closed portion of the meeting at any time if there's something that needs to be discussed.
Correct.
Okay, so could we not have this in the open portion of the meeting? And if there's something specific that has to be discussed in closed, that it goes in closed? Because many of these items here, all of these in fact, have been out in the public realm. You've talked about them. The province has put recommendations forward. We've put these forward 3 or 4 times. So this again is another effort to try to improve our governance. Could we not discuss this?
Point of order, please.
I've asked Mr. Blackwell a question. I've asked Mr. Blackwell a question.
Yeah,
So.
well, then please stop the speeches and let him answer.
Pardon me, could we have civility from the speaker, please?
Okay, Mr. Councillor Reuter, I just want to remind you to be respectful and follow the bylaw number 476 from 2015.
Yeah, could you please stop, could the chair please stop making speeches?
Could you please be respectful, and you either have to put your hand up electronically or we'll mute you in the future.
That's what I'm doing. I'm asking
Okay.
on a point of order that you let Mr. Blackwell answer the question and not make
Okay, Mr.
speeches.
Blackwell.
Thank you.
Do you have something else to say?
So it's not a simple question. At face value, these items don't, so what I'm looking for, don't qualify under those provisions. However, if there are aspects of these that do, council's prerogative then to move it into close at any time. If that is council's desire, because there's a feeling that it will move into an area that, or any member of council does want to have a discussion that does qualify, then you may want to, when you adopt the agenda, switch the order so that the public can listen to item B in open, and then you deal with closed afterward.
So
Okay, Councillor
my
Conlon.
concern is the information that I have to share could encompass and affect this in its entirety. And so I'm not comfortable having a discussion until I share with you the information that I need to do, and I cannot do that in the open meeting.
Okay, Mr.
Can I just make,
Councillor Abbott.
can I just make one other point? These items, the last time they were discussed in a closed meeting. According to the community charter, you do not reveal out of a closed meeting unless we all agree to do so. So to take what was discussed in the closed meeting and put it out in an open agenda and then speak to it the way you are, Ken, is out of order. That's all, that's my comments.
Okay, I'll just respond.
No,
I'm not sure what, I am gonna respond, because, you know, that's my prerogative. I don't understand what you would want to hide from the public, why we couldn't discuss this. To me, following the recommendations from the province, the LGMA, provincial advisors, the inspector of
You've made the
municipalities.
speech
I mean,
already, Ken.
I don't
I made it
understand
tick.
why you wouldn't discuss
I
this.
didn't say I don't want to discuss it in public. I'm happy
We've
to-
gone into closed far too many times
Ken,
and in the past, and I think it's important that we stay in the public realm.
technical point. Something's enclosed, you do not unilaterally get to take into open. You don't do that. Read the community charter. I think it's clause 117.
I'm sorry, but we've had, Mr. Blackwell, our
Why
CAO,
don't you let me speak, Mr.
advise
Bolton?
on items that go into closed or not, and in the past, he's been overruled with a vote. Okay, and he said that in the past, that these items should be discussed in open, and he's also said that we can move into closed at any given time. So, okay, Councillor Broughton, anything?
Well, on face
I'm
value,
not
I
to the
see,
point of order. I'm technically correct. Am I not?
Yes,
Yes, I am. Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. Move on.
sort of. It's complicated, right?
Okay.
You've gone into, you voted to go into closed numerous times against our CAO's advice. And so
On a
I don't
point of order,
understand.
could we call the question?
Okay,
I'm sorry,
Councillor Broughton?
I'm unclear where we are with the motion. We have a moved and seconded motion to put section eight.
Okay,
in
I
closed.
will say so.
Okay, Mr. Blackwell.
So,
correct?
just to clarify, there's a mover sector of this agenda.
Yes,
There's a move, there's also a motion to amend the agenda by moving item 4A into closed. But that needs to be. For the reasons set out.
Yes,
So presumably your reasons qualify, otherwise you wouldn't have stated that. It would need a seconder in order to make that amendment, it needs then to be voted on.
And then I have a further amendment. I'm still trying to.
Yes, then you do that one next.
Okay, I can second what Jamie said.
Okay, Councillor Abbott. Your amendment?
So I add my amendment now?
No.
We have to vote on this
Vote
one.
on it.
yeah.
Okay, Councillor Broughton?
Well, I just have concern about an ongoing pattern of taking materials into closed, and once they go into closed, they kind of go into never land. So I'm just very concerned about that, but I trust my colleague that she has a legitimate concern, and so I would support this particular piece going into closed. However, on face, the motions that are before us are very reasonable, and I think will lead to good governance. So I certainly support the recommendations, but I'm speaking to the amendment, and I reluctantly accept the amendment based on the history, but not on
Mr.
the
Blackwell.
face concern.
I think I'm gonna also advise or remind council, it's always wise to rise to the report on matters that qualify for that. It should know that's standard practice, not even best practice. That would apply to this situation as well. So in other words, should council pass this motion to amend this agenda by going into closed on this matter, council can have that discussion, and if it is deemed by council time to bring that into the open for further discussion, or for whatever reason, that's another resolution of council to bring it back into the discussion, or any part of the discussion it chooses back into open.
Okay, Councillor Abbott?
Okay, just one more, I take exception to this idea that I am the one that takes things into close frequently. It's actually a lot, just let me finish, it is actually completely untrue. According to the fact that it's a lie. I will remind council that I frequently use clause N to bring things out of close. More often than not, they get defeated, and I'm always the first person that wants to report out. So can you just please stop with that rhetoric? It's not true.
Okay, I'll
I'm not
comment.
supported by facts.
I've heard Councillor Abbott, but I would say that these are the LGMA responsible conduct recommendations, as well as the provincial advisors, inspector of municipalities. These are straightforward recommendations. Councillor Abbott in the past as you've done here.
On a point of order,
So
could you
I'll just
stop
remind
the
everyone.
speeches, please? Call the question. Stop the speeches, please. Call the question.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to be a little
You've
more
spoken 3
respectful.
times.
You can comment once with a point of order, but you don't have to continue on. Be a little bit more respectful, Councillor Ryder. Okay, we'll call the
Okay,
question.
I just want to say something here, please. Could I say something? Could I say something here? When I call, could I?
I'm calling the
Okay.
question more.
We're
I just
calling
wanna
the
say-
question, Councillor Ryder. Please
Very good.
mute Councillor
Good.
Ryder.
Call the question.
If he continues on, please mute Councillor Ryder. Okay, all in favor of moving this into closed?
Yes.
Yes.
Those opposed?
Yes,
Okay, Councillor Ryder opposed that? Was that a yes?
Mark,
I
you
am
were delayed.
for
Did you-
moving it into the closed.
Okay, motion carried. Okay, any other items?
Yes, I have 2 other items, sent them earlier today. These is their appointment of people to positions. That's why they've always been enclosed. That's why I asked for them to be enclosed. I'm sure we can report them out. So
Okay, are those the positions, new positions, new appointees? Shouldn't that be the staff's responsibility to oversee appointments?
So,
Mr.
I've seen
Blackwell?
it.
maybe I can jump in. So there's 2 items.
Yeah.
One one involves a financial discussion of council. That properly belongs in closed. The other matter I'm not sure of, and I asked Karen about to confirm one way or the other, and that is this. Is that position council appointment or is it a standard employee? And she advised it's a standard employee, in which case it's not a council appointment.
Okay,
And we'd have to go through the standard process is all. I mean, it's a minor thing, but it would be, this is standard posting of a position for, like we would for any other position.
so you want us to discuss that part now?
Don't need to, we're gonna be posting, and if that individual in question chooses to submit on that, then that would just flow through.
Let's,
So it's, I think the outcome will likely be the same, it's just we're honoring the correct process,
okay, well,
as far as I understand it.
that's not the request. So maybe we should discuss it now in open if you want.
I don't mind where you think it's best to discuss.
Taking the close, if you want to bring it back in open and redo it, it's fine. I can explain it in the open. Explaining the close, I'm quite happy to use clause in, to bring it back into the open. Just trying to do the right thing. So that was one, those 2 items were one. And then there was a third one, which is a simple matter of appointing a new member to the Climate Action Committee.
Right.
Which I wanted to just get done with, just a bit of housekeeping. Assuming it's just a bit of housekeeping, someone might take exception. Those have always been done in closed meetings before,
Correct.
in case someone wants to take
Correct.
exception. Okay,
Yeah.
so those are the 2 items.
Yeah.
Effectively, it's 3 items.
Okay, just repeat those, that we're going to have an open.
So we have, let me just double check my.
No, we haven't closed.
I don't have a piece of paper on. Bear with me just a second here. I'm down a piece of paper. For some reason.
What are you looking for in this?
Was there a scheduled closed for the special? Was there?
No.
No, okay. So you're gonna make a motion that you list the items as succinctly as you can without being specific. That you want to add to the agenda a matter pertaining to this, a matter pertaining to the, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Okay, all right, sure, I'm
And-
good.
and-
Just feeling-
That those be moved into close
Okay, so-
pursuant to section.
pursuant to
91N.
91N.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to add to a closed agenda, pursuant to clause 91N, a discussion on resourcing the emergency planning committee, and a second one on an appointment to the climate action committee.
In there, a third one?
Resourcing is both
Oh, gotcha.
is both person and money. Okay, is that okay?
Perfect.
Go ahead more than I was trying to use it.
I was slow on that one.
Okay.
Okay, are you
Okay,
all set with that? That's the amendment?
okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Mr. Blackwell, do you recommend we push the close to the end?
I think that was the last thing. You may also want to make a final amendment, which is to move item B, 4B to the front, so that the community that's listening in can hear this piece, and then you can move it to move these other matters beneath that.
Okay.
Okay,
So if somebody wants to move and second that, vote on that, that'd be great.
all right, mover,
Move that we
second,
deal with item B.
all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. All right, we'll move right to item number 4B. Councillor Abbott.
Okay, so this was the recommendation that came from the infrastructure committee on Thursday last week, after the director of operations, sorry, had to pause, presented the Alberta Supply Augmentation Project, which we've now just discussed in the open. Would you like me to read this?
No, I don't think, unless someone would like this read.
The bottom line is that, you know, the committee, although they didn't have all the details of the project, they endorse it, and they are recommending to council that council approve it.
Based on the fact that it's point of information, based on the fact that it's one paragraph and that we have quite a large audience that may not be looking at the agenda. I wonder if we
Suggesting I do.
could read the one
Okay,
paragraph.
I'll read it.
Councillor
Okay,
Abbott,
I
read.
probably should have just read it. Okay. So you got the background. Infrastructure Committee reviewed the Alberta Supply Augmentation Project report materials as delivered by Director of Operations, and we do not have any issues or technical concerns with the information presented. Further, we believe utilizing the Alberta Creek water license as the third source of the water and employing a third watershed is the best option currently available to the village to mitigate the effects of the ongoing summer low water flows in the two source creeks, and may provide some relief in the event that there's a wildfire above the village in one of the current watersheds. The IC recognizes that the use of Alberta Creek water is consistent with the IMP, Infrastructure Master Plan, for those that don't know the acronym, and as such, project may be eligible for debt financing under the infrastructure funding. So infrastructure funding referendum. The IC supports and endorses the Alberta Supply Augmentation Project proposal as presented, and I can take any questions on that if you want, but haven't previously been answered.
All right. Any questions, further questions?
I'll second that.
Is that a motion?
It's a recommendation from the committee that I've just read. Okay, I would put forward the motion that the council approves this recommendation. Put forward a motion that the council approves the project in compliance with the recommendation from the infrastructure committee and what we heard earlier.
It's way better resolution.
Okay,
Okay.
Could we hear the motion earlier?
there was no
There was a
motion.
recommendation. of a
There was no motion earlier, it was a committee of the whole meeting.
Right.
It was a recommendation, yeah.
Mr. Blackwell.
So, thank you. Just to clarify this, so we make sure, particularly for the minute taker, the Rain Coast, what I heard you say is that, correct me where I'm going off base here, that the Alberta Creek Water Project as presented, as set out in the, what's the date of your report? Right.
Friday, yeah.
What date is that?
31st of May.
The staff report dated May 31st pertaining to the Alberta Creek Water Project and as supported or set out, or whatever the word is you want to use.
Yep, supported by the infrastructure committee.
Committee, do you want to say be endorsed, approved in principle?
Approved in principle,
Subject to
subject to
confirmation of price?
confirmation of price and the option, considering the second option, price reduction,
Okay,
as laid out in the earlier meeting, VoLB meeting by Director of Operations.
can you write that down for me?
No, I mean, you're not be able to write what I just said. Isn't it recorded?
I don't know, I'm just hoping it's a backup.
Ray goes, you got it? Who's doing
All right.
Can you, sorry, can you just repeat the last part? I got it was subject to confirmation of price and then,
And consideration of option B, which could be a cost reduction,
Don't say that. Option B, as set out in
as set out in the
31st of May staff report.
staff report.
Yeah.
Okay,
okay.
No,
So when are we gonna
the
get
second option
confirmation
was
and
brought
do
up
we?
today.
then option B wasn't in the staff report.
Sorry, guys,
We'll
we don't have a price on this, and when are we gonna get confirmation subject to? This is,
Hang on,
Potentially.
sorry, we just gotta get the tail end of this sorted out. Sorry, hold off on that last bit about the staff report. It's not. Carl, what's the correct?
So the issue on the staff report, option B was not in the staff report.
Okay,
No.
That only was developed yesterday and today. The other
okay, so,
issues,
so say,
as
option
presented.
B as presented to the June
Committee.
4th committee of the whole.
globally, sure.
Right,
The
Okay.
issue is, if you're gonna predicate this on a final price, it's not gonna work. There's not enough time.
No,
The
no,
ask
that's what was
was
suggested.
to approve the price as presented.
So hang on, you moved that, and was there a seconder?
Yes.
I second it.
So Councillor Conliffe, second,
Or
second,
one of us.
okay. Just want to make sure we got that, so now it's discussion. Sorry about that.
okay, so we don't have any firm prices.
We have a class B, we have,
And this is a subject to, do you think we should come back for another special meeting once we get this pricing
you
in
have a
order?
class B price estimate, you're not gonna get a better one.
My feeling is that this is time sensitive. It's vital to water security for this coming summer, and our feet are being held to the fire right now, and we don't, I'm hearing from the Director of Operations that we don't have time to go back and forth.
So
black
if I could, here's a piece of advice for council too, and I say this to you from other experiences. You either have to trust your staff or you don't. So either you trust what the Director of Operations is telling you and you go with what he's telling you, or you second guess everything he's saying, and that was gonna create problems. So if the message from your Director of Operations who's been working diligently on this is recommending to council, this is the best approach, and my advice to council is follow the direction of the professionals and your staff. If you don't, that's rather problematic.
I am inclined to support the motion.
Any other comments?
Well, if I can interject, I think the motion needs to be restated. Because right now, as I heard it is, the approval is contingent on a different price. There is no different price.
No, I don't think I
I don't
said
think
it's
that was in the
contingent
motion.
different price.
No.
I said after consideration of the opportunity as presented in option B. I didn't say
yeah, it's good that it could be less.
which,
Well, it may very well be less, yeah.
Yeah, that was the only. that was
And
the
we will
concern.
consider all options up until the final day,
Mhm.
until we press the on button.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind hearing back the resolution, because I need to take a council res to the engineers and RFP writer to tomorrow.
Could Rain post?
Kelsey?
Kelsey,
Yep.
could you please repeat the resolution?
Yep, so that council approves the Alberta Supply Augmentation Project in principle based on the recommendation of the Infrastructure Committee and the staff report dated May 31st, 2024, subject to confirmation of price and consideration of option B as presented during the June 4th, 2024 Committee of the Whole meeting.
on resolution.
Okay. Any other comments?
Does that work for you, Carl?
Just.
Okay,
All right, we'll call the question. All in favor?
yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we'll move into, motion to move into close.
Subject to kicking the tires that happened earlier on. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you, Carl.
Thanks for the question.
Motion to move into close.
I'll put it forward,
Okay, second.
Second.
Favor?
yes.
Opposed? Carried.
That works.
All right.
Good, everybody?
No, Marcus.